Good afternoon, guys. Hello, everybody. Hopefully, you can listen to me. You can see this video. It's going to be a short video. Uh, First of all, I'm really sorry about last Saturday. We didn't have class because there was a situation here with the football tournament, some issues, and also I I couldn't record myself during that last weekend, and but today I am recording, so I can explain you a little bit about the PET. So the PET exam is after the normal exams that we have. Um, the PET exam is actually like a mock exam. It is like I would say it's like officially, it should be a test. It should be a test about to get a certificate by Cambridge University to show that you are pre-intermediate level. But in order to do that, obviously you have to pay money to Cambridge University or to official schools that yeah, if you consider taking it, it's around 3,000 pesos or 400 pesos. I'm not sure. But this certificate, this diploma, and it is for you to show that you have the pre-intermediate level, and it might help you in the future for the CV, the curriculum vitae, or to get a better job. But I highly recommend to do the next, which is the B2. Here at Cele, we offer the B2. What's the name of this? First certificate. The official exam is called Cambridge First Certificate. And it's a little bit more complicated, it's more tedious, and you need preparation. Normally, in this kind of exam or tests, we have to have previous preparation. Unfortunately, we won't have enough time, or we won't have time to really check that. That's why the purpose of this video. Okay. Last last class or last Saturday, I share with you some links that may be very useful. The thing here is that the more you practice, the better for you to familiarize with the exam, because it's likely that our exam will be online. So it is going to be similar, more or less similar to this part. Well, on Desmos, if you are familiar to it. But this is the website. Yeah, as you can see, it is divided in reading, writing, listening, and speaking. So what should we do in this section of reading? Well, first of all, we have to read carefully. First of all, you have to read the instructions, and after that, you have to choose. For example, here it says, look at the text in each question and choose the correct option. You normally have like an advertisement, or like a note, and you have to choose the one that you think has the same idea, or you have to choose the one that has the same idea. So in order to do that, you have to read carefully. Remember, when in the activity, in the exercise, when you are choosing an answer, this is for all the reading parts. It's not going to be like the same exact words that are here. Is the connotation or the meaning, or sometimes similar ideas. And what it means about similar ideas, similar phrases. Yep. For example, it says here, hey, David, I forgotten my science essay. Can you look for it in the apartment and give it to Luis in my class? Thanks a lot, Gary. So I highly recommend that you first read the at and then you focus on the sentence on the sentences. For example, letter A, it says forgot to do. First of all, you have to read this part. This message tells David that Gary forgot to do his science essay, wants him to check the essay and give it to his flatmate, and wants him to search the essay and give it to Lois. So the correct answer should be mm, letter C. Wants him to search. It says here, look, search, essay, and give it to Luis. Yeah. So the others, maybe they have the same, more or less the idea, but not quite sure. Yeah. So this is the exercise that you have to do in this part. For the rest part is more or less the same because basically you have different texts and you have to analyze them. You have to remember information on the text. For example, here, people below will soon move to New York and they want to do a course in Brooklyn. Read the description of A activities and decide which activity would be the most suitable for each person. So the same for this part, highly recommendable to read as fast as you can this text and then try to remember and memorize a little bit of information of each person and then go to the activities as well. The same, the activities, try to identify, try to memorize some of them, and then you go to the questions. So answer the questions here. For example, Kesia, you have to, well, choose one of these. What does she like? Or what is the most suitable for her? And it says here next page, previous page, next page, and you have to choose one according to the each text. Highly recommendable. You can go back and check, but do not spend much time. Normally, in each part is recommendable to spend only 10 minutes maximum, but the most recommendable is from 5 to 7 minutes in each part. Hmm. So the same in part number 3, um, it says you have a reading. It says read the text. For each question, choose the correct option. The same. My recommendation is always the same. Read as fast as you can and try to remember the general idea of this and then answer the questions. And normally the questions are in order. For example, question number 1 is related to paragraph number 1. Question number 2 can be in paragraph number 1 and 2. And normally, maybe at the beginning or at the end, you will have what does the writer try to say? For example, here it says at the beginning, no? What does the writer try to do in this text? And according to the whole text, is not what you think. Remember, the reading comprehension is not what we believe, we think, because everything has to be here, yeah, related to the text. So you have to go back, analyze the general idea, and then choose correctly. And then here, before you go to the next part, you have to click on here, next page. What else? What else? Here we have another kind of activity. Cambridge, sorry, 5 sentences have removed from the text below. For each question, choose the correct answer. And for example, as you can see, there is a text with gaps. Yeah. And in this text, you have to choose different phrases, different short texts, the ones that you think are most suitable for the paragraph. Yeah, for the paragraph. So you have to read before the gap and after the gap. But remember, after having read the after you've done the skimming, which is as fast as you can, and try to remember. Okay, so this is in this part. Okay, next part number 5 is, I think it's multiple choice. Multiple choice. So read the text and choose the correct answer. Here, the same idea. You have to read before the gap and after the gap, and here it's a word that relates to this paragraph or relates to the phrase. And some of them maybe are like they fit, but it's not the correct meaning, or it has another idea. So you have to choose wisely here. Yeah, fun in cool temperature, weathers, no? Here you can say weather. Normally we don't use the word in plural weather, so the correct would be climates, no? But read carefully here, yeah? Choose wisely. And the last activity for the reading part would be an open gap, or it says, it's like you don't have any option here. You don't have choices. You have to analyze the, normally the text is an email. So you have to analyze the email or the short text. And the word can be a subject pronoun, an object pronoun, possessive pronouns or objects. It can be an auxiliary, can be do, does, did, may. It can be have, has, modal verbs, can, could, should, will. It can be anything. Yeah, the purpose here is that you, and preposition as well. Yeah, so here is about to analyze before the gap and after the gap as well. Yeah, and more or less to give the idea. It can be verbs as well. It can be verbs as well. So it maybe you can answer exercise from 1 to 5 as fast as you can and have more time here. Like you can spend from 7 to 10 minutes here because it's more than analyzing and choosing what could be the correct idea. Yeah, so this is it, guys. This is the pet reading part. So what do we do in the next part, which is the writing? If you want me to check, you can send the writings here. It says, normally it's an email. For the writings are emails, no? So, and you have examples. You have an advantage on this website that you have an example. So how should it be? How should you answer? Yeah, how should you tackle this activity of writing? The next part, number 2, it is you have to choose one, only one, because there are 2 activities, question 2 and question 3. You have to choose either of these listening, not both, not both. Yeah, for example, question number 2, you see a notice on the board on your local library, articles wanted, travel, which is your favorite place to visit? Would you recommend it to others to go there? Why not? Write an article answering these questions. Yeah, this is one option, and you have the example over there. And the second option, you only one, remember. You must write a story for writing competition. Your story must begin with sentence. When we got out of the car, it was freezing. Because it's a story, everything has to relate it to past. Yeah, so remember, be descriptive in your story. Use different tenses like past simple, past continuous, past perfect continuous, and describe as much as possible. It was in the middle of the night, everything was quiet, and I was starting a little bit afraid, frightened, because I had never been on the street so late, whatever. So write the context. I think for me would be more ideal to write the story. Yeah. So this is it about the writing section. Yeah. Try to do it in a piece of paper and take your time. Do not spend more than 30 minutes. It's between 10 and 10 minutes, 20 minutes maximum. Okay, so the listening part, how can I explain this? Listening is about not getting distracted. It's about clear your mind, put your mind in blank, focus only on the audio, only listen to the audio, listen carefully, check instructions. What else? And if you think if you consider that you didn't answer correctly, if you check your score, then you have to practice a lot of listening. Yeah. How can we practice a lot of listening? On YouTube, go to the search part and type pet listening activities, and you will have to uh, do several tests. Yeah, so my recommendation here is that practice not only this exam, but you can watch other videos, YouTube videos, and write your answers. Yeah, there is no other time. So remember, sometimes in this part, for example, you have to choose one picture according to the context, according what they say. What did the man eat for lunch? So in this part, the answer can be at the beginning, can be in the middle of the audio, or can be at the end of the audio. So you have to pay attention carefully and check what you are required to answer. Yeah, this is the first part. The second part, um, it is a conversation, I think. How does the man feel about this new place? What time will they go shopping? It's a conversation, and you have to answer the question. Normally, it is in order. Yeah, they are saying that those questions and answers in order. So you have to pay attention from the beginning till the listening. Remember, the listening is only 2 times. Do not listen more than 2 times, because in an official exam, you will listen only 2 times. In the listening part 3, I think there are several mini conversations, so you have to, no, so it is here, Julia's trip to Mexico, and you have to complete the gaps. Yeah, here you have to pay attention, because sometimes they mention first the answer and then the other phrase. Yeah, it can be in order, or it can be like this, no? And remember, they will give you some times to check, to read quickly this part. So read that, because now you have 35 seconds to look at the sentences, or to look at the short text, no? And the final part, it says, for each question, choose the correct answer. What was the reason Dr. Stevens enjoyed doing this scientific study? Why were some students not returning at the university the second year? This is an interview, so you have to pay attention to what the interviewer, person who's been interviewed, the answers, what he gives or she gives. Yep. So basically, we finish with this, the listening part, and then it's over for the written exam. Now, guys, there are two different links where you can practice. This is the first link. Yeah, Test English, PET P1 preliminary test, and the other link is here. It says FlowJo Cambridge English preliminary. I think I already shared both, but if not, you type on Google FlowJo Cambridge English preliminary, or PET. And the practice is over here, where it says reading. Unfortunately, never came, or never was the listening part, and it says coming soon, but never did that. They never did that. Yeah? So only we practice reading, writing, and speaking. And here, for example, you have here an introduction of the exam, and then you go to the papers, practice tests. It is a very good website where you can practice. Unfortunately, this gives you the answer now. For example, here it says you read the text and you decide, sorry, your answer is incorrect. No, and then sorry, the answer is incorrect. So you have to analyze, answer, as if it were the exam. Do not choose more than one. Yes, so if you're choosing one, that's the one, yeah, and write the one that is incorrect. Yeah, you have an advantage because you can know what is the incorrect and correct answer in each part. So there are 6 parts of reading text. So try to do them whenever you have time, please. Whenever you have time. The writing, well, more or less the same. You have 2 different activities. Yeah, and you have here examples. And in this website, they give you tips what to do, what not to do. Yeah, more help with preliminary tests. What I like about this website is that you have tips below before you start doing your exam. And you have tips here. Yeah, and sometimes at the end, if you scroll down, there are tips, study tip. There are always 4 points you need, blah, blah, blah. So highly recommendable to do that, guys. Yeah. So this is it. Unfortunately, this website doesn't have any listening. And talking about the speaking, talking about that, guys, because we have a very tight agenda, a very tight calendar. I'm going to do the oral exam as if we were in the preliminary tests, as if it were the test, the PET test. Yes, so the first part is very easy because the first, unfortunately, sometimes, yeah, is blocked, no? So you can omit that. And talking about that, it is divided in four parts, no? And I have a website that I'm going to share later on. And the website, it's focused on the speaking part. On the first part, you don't have to really study the first part because are questions about you. What do you like about learning English? What do you do in your free time? What have you done recently? What did you do yesterday? Do you like sports? Why? Why not? So the most recommendable, my recommendation is here, do not get quiet. So try to express more, go beyond your answers. You have to speak fluently, like a normal conversation. Forget about that is a speaking test. Yeah, forget about that is a speaking test, and try to be friendly and go beyond, comment, make comments about that. I like this because of that. I'm really fond of it, and try to use advanced vocabulary. I'm going to share as well like a mini guide of expressions, how to answer in B1 preliminary PET, no? What vocabulary you could use. But do not be quiet or give short answers, because if you give short answer, yes, no, yes, I do, no, I don't, and that's it, you will get low mark, and that will affect in your final score. So do not limit yourself only short answers, go beyond and comment more on this part. Okay, so this is part number 1 because it's questions about you. Yeah. And general, no, it's information. What do you normally do? How do you get to school? Who do you think that English will be useful for you in the future, etc., etc. So part number 2, well, here you have the explanation here. You have to describe a picture in approximately 1 minute, different topics. For example, you have the picture over here. And now I like to each, remember, this kind of exams, this kind of tests, they are in pairs. So you will need a pair to do that. And then what do we have to do, or what you have to do is to, well, describe as much as possible the picture, but not only that, go beyond the same. go beyond. So these might be people studying before an important test. They are working really hard and they are a little bit nervous. I think they will do great because it shows that they are interacting and they are sharing answers. So probably by the test they will get a high mark. And then, yeah, you see, it says talk about the people, the person, the place. No, for example, they are at the library, uh, at school, at university, yeah, and other things. But do not limit only, they are just studying. They are doing their homework, and that's it. No, go beyond. I think they might be doing geography homework or history. So invent. The more you make up, the better for you. The better grade you will get. Yeah, the more vocabulary, the more expressions that you show, the examiner will give you a more score. And the other part, sometimes they ask you questions related to that. Do you always go to the library before doing a test? Why not? No. The part number three, it's a pair work. It's a pair work. In this part, you're going to talk about something together about 2 minutes, and you have to describe a situation to your partner. uh, well, this is for the previous part, no? A young man works very hard and has only 3 days a week. He wants to find an activity to help him to relax. Here are some activities that could help him to relax. Talk together about the different activities that he could do. Say which would be the most relaxing. Because here is a pair work, yeah, you have to interact with your partner, interact each other, no? You can say, shall we talk about the first picture? It's not necessary to mention all of the pictures. You can mention one. For example, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8, so you can mention four, half four, but you have to explain, no? I think the best way to relax is going fishing, but sometimes it can be dangerous. Don't you think so? Don't you think so, Juan? Oh, I guess it is. But I consider, for me, I think it's more relaxing go swimming because we can do exercise and I like being on the water. Uh, and sometimes certain swimming pools or sports centers, they have indoors swimming pools. What about you? Do you like going to the mountains with your pets? Um, and the other person says, I don't really have time to do that, but whenever I have time, I go hiking, not with my pet, but blah blah blah. Yeah. So the important here is to interact each other for 2 minutes. And as I said, try to mention four, maximum five of these activities, not every single activity. Yeah. This is a number part number three. The last part, it's some questions related more or less to the previous picture. For example, what do you think? What do you do when you want to relax? Why? Do you prefer to relax with friends or alone? Is it important to do exercise in your free time? Why not? Why is it useful to learn new skills in your free time? Why not? Do you think people spend too much time working or studying these days? Not really, blah, blah, blah. And select any of the following prompts. How about you? Do you agree? What do you think? Yeah. And that's it, basically, no? You interact these questions with your partner. Yeah. So this is basically the pet, guys. So it's not so difficult. It's the more you practice, the better grade, the better mark you will get. Okay. So hopefully you do it. You still have 1 week left. And as I said before, your oral exam, your final oral exam, I'm going to give you it's going to be like the pet speaking, yeah? Information about you, describe a photo and interaction with other person here with this. Because of the time, probably we won't have time to do the part number 4. I'll try to do my best, yeah? So unfortunately, we have only 3 Saturdays left, 3 more Saturdays. So hopefully we still have time as well to finish the units because we have to cover the last part of Unit 1, Unit 2. Unit 2 is present perfect, simple, and continuous. So it's not going to be so bad. So it's going to be easy peasy as lemon squeezy, hopefully. Present perfect, continuous, and simple. And also a little bit of passive voice, yeah? Because it's related to passive voice as well. We won't have time probably to check the readings. If we do, we'll try. I'll try to do the best in the last 3 classes, guys. So this is basically unit 2, and what most importantly is to cover the vocabulary because the vocabulary is for sure that is coming. Yeah. So the reading no, but we'll try to cover the vocabulary and the final unit, unfortunately, and we'll try to do this exercise because I think there is going to be a writing related to this, talking about places. Yeah. The last unit number 3, it is narrative sentences, narrative tenses, which is the past simple, past continuous, past perfect, past simple passive, past perfect continuous. Yeah. So this is going to be the last part that we cover. Hopefully we cover by 29, no, 31st of May, and I think we could manage to finish the unit on that day, the 31st, half of the time, half of the class, sorry, half of the class, the unit 3, hopefully, and the last part of the unit, the last part of the class is going to be your oral exam. Yeah. Yeah. So probably we omit some pages in class. I think it's for sure that I'll omit some pages from your book. Yeah. But start checking, start, try to cover the unit 1 at least on your platform and on your workbook. Super important because basically is your check and revision. And exam 31st of May, ¿vale? Lo dejamos ahí pendiente 31st of May. Hopefully you can watch this video because it's not so much time, I guess. I think. Yep. And see you next weekend. See you next Saturday, the 17th of May. Bye, guys.